Remember When with your host, Paul Ford.
Thank you very much. So glad you could join us today on Remember When. We have two special guests with us today, Miss Albina or Beanie Stamper from Delta Grand. Say hi, Miss Beanie.
Hello there.
All right. And we also have Mr. Steve Broughton, and we're having a little bit of connectivity issues because of some rain there, but we can hear him loud and clear. Say hi, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Great. Wonderful. Now, Steve, just to be clear, can you see us?
I can see you.
Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. So this is our very first Paramount Reminiscence and Trivia game show. We're so glad that you could join us on it. Anyway, let's go to our first topic. Our first topic today is going to be marbles. Marbles. Now, we do have one main topic at the end that y'all are going to have been forewarned about. But for now, we're going to reminisce a little bit about marbles. So, Steve, we'll start with you. Did you ever play marbles as a kid?
Oh, yes.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, when I was going to school, it was a big thing to do. You go out in the playground, you play marbles. And I had a bag that I kept my marbles in. My teacher told me one more time, one of my marbles fell out. She's going to take them and want to go give them back to me at the end of school. But one of them fell out.
Oh,
and sheepishly, I looked like I was innocent, but she looked straight at me. And she took them and didn't give them back to the end of school.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was the end of my marble playing.
Well, now we know how Steve lost his marbles. Good deal. Okay, Steve. Well, thank you for sharing.
You were waiting to say that, wasn't you?
I was waiting the whole time. I'm not sure what you even said. I just.
You didn't have when you went to school? We went to school way out in the mountains. My sister and brother and I would ride a mule to school. We had a one building schoolhouse.
Wow. And was this down in the Columbia area?
No, I'm from California, honey. I'm born and raised in California.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So you rode a mule to school. Wow. My gracious. So that's pretty interesting. Well, Steve might have a slight advantage over you for this first set of questions, but we'll just see. You may do just fine. All right, Miss Stamper, first question goes to you. I'm going to alternate between the two of you, okay? All right, so Miss Stamper, here is question number 1. You know what? I'm going to have to skip question number 1 because it shows the picture and you guys can't look at the pictures. For some reason, it's not working. Let me try one more time to see if I can share this picture. If not, I will skip question number 1. So, let's see here. So let me know whether or not you see this picture. It's going to be black for a second, and it's going to come up. Can you see that or not?
I can.
Great. Okay. So, Miss Stamper, this is a particular kind of marble. So, what kind of marble is this? A cat eye marble, B, a swirling marble, or C, a water spout marble?
An A, cat eye.
All right, Miss Stamper gets a point, Bree.
Gotcha.
Good deal. All right, well, I'm glad the pictures are sharing finally. So that's good. Okay, now our next question goes to Steve. Steve, are you still there?
Are you?
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm just not seeing your picture, but I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, Steve. Number 2, marbles are most commonly made of A, glass, B, ceramic, or C, toenail clippings?
Glass.
A, glass. A point for Steve. All right. Good job. Good job. All right, Miss Stamper, 3. This question goes to you. Marbles have been used in games for A, 50 years, B, hundreds of years, or C, thousands of years. What do you think?
Well, I know it's hundreds, so couldn't go to thousands. I'll try hundreds of years.
Oh, unfortunately, it's actually thousands of years. C, thousands of years. Marbles were invented thousands of years ago and were a popular item in ancient Egypt and Rome. Interesting. All right, Steve, this next one's for you. So, question number 4. Marbles were first mass produced. A, in the 1800s, B, in the 1900s, or C, in the bathtub?
I'm going to say the 1900s.
Oh, that is incorrect, Steve. Marbles were first commercially viable in the 1800s, particularly in the late part of the century, after Samuel Dyke started mass producing them. As previous to that, the toy had individually been handmade. Wow. So where are we at right now with our score, Bree?
We're tied.
They're both tied at 1. They both missed 1.
Oh, 1-1. This is going to be rough, I can tell. All right. Well, that is the end of section 1, our toy marble trivia. All right, so here's some record trivia. Well, first of all, Steve, I know you're a music lover. What was the favorite record you used to listen to on the record player?
The first record I ever bought was a Lefty Frizzell. You remember him?
Lefty Frizzell, yes, sirree.
Oh, he was my favorite. You see my yearbook. Yeah, Lefty Frizzell was in my yearbook. They asked my favorite song, and it was him, Mom and Pop Waltz.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, you remember that one? Me too. That's the one I played.
That's cool. So y'all have something in common, even though you're competitors. Isn't that sweet? Okay. Well, y'all ready for section 2, record trivia? Here we go. This is a short section, and then we'll move on to our main event with I Love Lucy, okay? All right, question number 1. Who did I leave off with, Bree? Do you remember?
We're back with Miss Stamper.
Okay, I'm glad I got Miss Bree to help keep me straight. All right, so Miss Stamper, first question goes to you. What 2 spacecrafts have golden records on them? What 2 spacecrafts have golden records on them? A, Apollo 10 and 11, B, Voyager 1 and 2, or C, the Jetsons 3 and 4?
I didn't know any of them did. I'll go for the Jetsons, I guess, or outer space. I don't know. I never heard of that one.
Okay, well, the correct answer is actually Voyager 1 and 2.
I never heard of it.
Perhaps the most famous records in the universe are the 2 copies of the golden record placed aboard the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecrafts. They feature musical selections from different cultures and eras, greetings from the people of Earth in 55 languages, and other messages. Today, the Voyager is nearly 12 billion miles away from Earth. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I don't know
where they
what-
get their needles.
So if they... That's a good one, Steve. I wish my sound effects were still working. I'd play you a laugh track. All right. Oh, well, that's technology for you. Okay, question number 2 goes to the comedian Steve. Here we go. What was the first recording in 1931 on the first 12-inch record? The first 12-inch record in 1931. First recording, A, Beethoven's Fifth, B, 5'2" Eyes of Blue, or C, Uptown Funk?
She wasn't even born.
Oh, Eyes of Blue.
Oh, I thought you might pick that one, but actually it was dun 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 dun.
I'll eat
Dun
that.
dun dun dun.
Yeah,
Beethoven's Fifth, performed by the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra. Yep,
We tearing these up.
Victor's new vinyl-based Trolac provided a much quieter playing surface compared to the shellac typically used for 78s. What were the 78s? Was that the big ones?
That's those big ones. Yeah.
Big one? Okay, that's the kind my daddy used to play. Okay, Miss Stamper. Miss Stamper, this one's back to you. You ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the predecessor of the record player was, of course, the phonograph with that big funnel on it.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
invented the phonograph? A, Alexander Graham Bell, B, Thomas Edison, or C, Bob Phonograph?
I don't know. I'll go for number 2. I guess AB. No. Oh, no. B.
Alexander Bell or Thomas Edison?
I'd go Edison.
Edison is correct. Good job. You got a point there.
Oh, funny, got one. Whoa. Wow.
I would play you my ta-da sound effects, but once again, we had to regroup. Okay. Where are we now, Bree? Where do we stand between these two fierce contestants?
Needs to get it.
Well, of course, the ladies are winning.
Well, he needs
Of course, the ladies in the lead. Steve, you better quit thinking up jokes and start thinking up answers, buddy. Well, if nobody else enjoys this, we will, huh? Okay. All right, so I'm going to now introduce our final major theme for today. I Love Lucy. Out of curiosity, did you see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's working anyway. All right, I Love Lucy is our main meat of our trivia for today. We'll start with you, Miss Bina Stamper. Did you used to watch I Love Lucy when it was first on television?
We didn't have TV until the 50s. I never heard of it. I was out of high school when we got television in San Francisco. The mountains were taking away all the mess. You couldn't get in out of the city.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have any signal out there in the sticks, huh?
No.
So you didn't ride a mule to watch I Love Lucy in town?
No, they didn't have television back in the 30s.
Oh, you grew up in the 30s. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that would have been before this show. Okay.
Outhouses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that reminds me of a story. I heard a true story about a man who had been an American soldier in the War for Independence, and he went to visit his family in England, and they had put up a picture of George Washington in their outhouse. And so when he went to use the outhouse, they were all kind of snickering and you know, wondering what he would think. So when he got back into the house, they said, well, what did you think of the picture of George Washington in the outhouse? And he said, well, I thought that was perfect. There's nothing that could make a Brit use the bathroom on himself more than the picture of the side of George Washington. So anyway, that wasn't his exact words, but I cleaned it up a little bit. All right. What about you, Steve? Do you have memories of watching I Love Lucy as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't a kid. I was married when I saw it.
It's my understanding that literally life would shut down when it was time for the I Love Lucy show to come on. The streets would get quiet. People would go to their houses. It was such a popular show that pretty much in many towns, life just kind of stopped while people went to watch the show. Does anybody recall anything like that?
Everybody,
No, but we used to watch the radio, listen to the radio.
Well, did you know our first question is actually gonna center around the fact that it's based on an old radio show. So hold that thought, Miss Stamper. You might have an edge on that one. All right. Let me ask you one more question before we get started. Steve, do you have a favorite episode of I Love Lucy?
No, they all made me laugh.
I like when she was in the camp.
I don't think there's any of them I missed. 'Cause back then, that's everybody gathered around and watched Lucy.
Right.
I was around 7 or 8 years old, somewhere around there.
Okay. What about you, Miss Stamper? Do you have a favorite episode of I Love Lucy?
I think when she got drunk on that candy or something. I can't remember that one.
Vitamin Benjamin.
That was also my mother's favorite episode. She used to tell me about it. So guess what? I actually downloaded that clip for our show today. This is about Vegevitamin something or other.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes, Vegevitamins.
Yes, here we go.
You ever seen it?
Hello, friends. I'm your Body Meet a Benjamin girl. Are you tired, run down, listless? You poop out at parties? Are you unpopular? The answer to all your problems is in this little Vitamin contains vitamins, meat, vegetables, and minerals. Yes, with Vitamin, you can spoon your way to health. All you have to do is take a big tablespoonful after every meal. It's so tasty, too. Tastes like candy. Honest. So why don't you join the thousands of happy, peppy people and get a great big bottle of Mitameter. Remember the name.
All right, that was possibly one of the most popular episodes ever of I Love Lucy. What you say?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so on to the war. Are you ready, Bree?
Yep.
Who's our next contestant?
I think you.
It's his turn, isn't it?
Well, actually, the last
I got the last one, I think.
the last group of questions you did had an odd number, so I think it's his turn.
Okay, Steve. I guess Miss Stamper's edge will be lost on this question because this is a radio question. The classic television show I Love Lucy was actually based on a radio show. Was it based on My Favorite Husband,
Yep.
My Favorite Wife, The Girl Next Door, or Marriage Isn't Easy?
My Favorite Husband.
Very good. You have a point, Steve. You have gotten that question right. Okay. Miss Stamper, next question goes to you. What company was the original sponsor of I Love Lucy? Was it Sears, Philip Morris,
Yep.
General Motors, or Paramount Healthcare?
Oh,
Either Philip Morris, maybe.
Philip Morris. All right. That is correct. The original sponsor for I Love Lucy was Philip Morris. references to the company and its products can still be seen in many episodes. And here's something kind of funny. Their big competitors, sorry?
He was a little midget. Philip Morris, Radiette.
Yeah. Their biggest competitors was the Lucky brand of cigarettes. And so on I Love Lucy, they could not use the word Lucky because they were sponsored by Philip Morris. So interesting. All right, Steve, next question goes to you. Technically speaking, it's going to get technical. Technically speaking, I Love Lucy was innovative because it was shot on 35mm film, shot using 3 cameras at once, shot in front of a live studio audience, or all of the above?
All the above.
That is correct.
Technically.
Yeah. I Love Lucy was ahead of its time in several important ways. They used higher quality 35mm film, even though it was more expensive. And so thankfully, we have good versions of the I Love Lucy show today because they made that decision. And also it was filmed in front of a live studio audience, and also they used 3 different cameras at a time so they could get different camera angles. And that's something that is a technique that is still used today. So I Love Lucy was a pioneer in that regard. All right. Number 4 goes to Miss Stamper. What is the name of the nightclub where Ricky Ricardo is employed? Excalibur, Flamingo, Tropicana, or Copacabana?
Copacabana.
Oh, that is not correct. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
You are thinking of the famous song, Copacabana. But this was actually the Tropicana Club.
Okay, got you.
Yes, the Tropicana Club. So that was a good try, though. Sounds like, makes me think of orange juice. I don't know.
I have
Tropicana.
3 choices.
All right, Steve, next question goes to you. What does Lucy's mother call Ricky? Does she call him Peter, Pedro, Mickey, or Ike?
Mickey.
Mickey, that is correct. Mrs. McGillicuddy, played by Catherine Card, can never seem to remember Ricky's name and instead calls him Mickey. That's correct. All right. Miss Stamper, next one goes to you. Who's in the lead so far, Bree?
Something's wiggling.
Bree, who's in the lead so far?
He is.
Oh, Steve's in the lead. All right, Miss Bina. All right. What is the name of Little Ricky's babysitter? Is it Miss Ramsey, Miss Trumbull, Miss Ziffel, or Miss Appleby?
I don't know. I think maybe Trumbull.
That is correct. Good job. Miss Trumbull is Little Ricky's babysitter. All right. We are just burning through these quicker than snot. The next one is number 7 for Steve. What is the name of Fred and Ethel's dog? Is it Fido? Is it Butch? Is it Tiger? Or is it Killer?
Butch.
Butch is correct. Good job. Butch is correct. All right. Yes, Butch is the name of Fred and Ethel's dog, who appears in one episode of I Love Lucy, The Diet, in which Lucy tries to lose 12 pounds. All right. Number 8. Number 8, in the operetta, this is going to you, Miss Stamper. In the operetta, Lucy writes an operetta for the Wednesday Afternoon Fine Art League. What does she call it? Does she call it the chubby hubby, the farmer and the charmer, or the pleasant peasant?
Oh, God.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
I never heard of that one. I'll go for B. I never heard of that one.
The farmer and the charmer, that is your choice?
Yes.
Okay, that is incorrect. I'm sorry. It was the pleasant peasant. But in your defense, probably nobody else knew the answer to that either. Did you know that, Steve?
No, sir, I didn't.
Something anyway.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one. Okay, we're down to our last two questions here. Who's in the lead so far, Bree?
Steve's leading by 1.
Steve is leading by 1. This is going to be close. All right. These two are giving each other a run for money they don't have. Okay. Number 9. Did I say this is Steve's question? Number 9. What was the last episode of I Love Lucy? Was it housewarming, the Ricardos dedicate a statue, or Lucy hates to leave?
Dedicate a statue.
Wow. How did you know that, Steve? That is correct.
I saw it.
You saw it. Okay.
I saw it.
Did you actually see it when it first aired?
Yeah.
Wow. You are old. Yes. In this episode, Ricky is chosen to dedicate a new Revolutionary War statue in the Westport Town Square. True to form, however, Lucy accidentally destroys the statue, so she becomes a statue herself.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Lucy would do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Stamper, the last question goes to you. Of the 4 main actors, you'll probably get this one. This isn't all that hard. Of the 4 main actors, well, that didn't sound how I meant it, but I'm just saying this is easier than the last question you had.
Yeah, boy.
Okay. Of the 4 main actors, who was the last living cast member of I Love Lucy? Was it Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, Vivian Vance, or William Frawley?
Let's see. I know that Lucy's husband was in Mexico when he died, but I don't know if he died before her or not. I know she died on the operating table. So let me see. I think he was. I'll say it was Ricky. I thought he died in Mexico before she died. I don't know.
So who was around the longest?
The longest would be who lived the longest?
Yeah.
I'd say Vivian Vance.
Okay.
Ethel Merman, yeah.
Miss Ethel lived the longest. Okay. Well, actually, believe it or not, it was actually Miss I Love Lucy herself, Lucille Ball. She lived longer than any of them.
She was on the operating table through surgery.
She sure did. Yep. She was the last living member of I Love Lucy. She died April 26, 1989. And Desi died December 2, 1986. So that was a close one, though. Well, guys, y'all have been very, very, very close today. But
you gave me all the hard ones.
Yeah, I gave you all the hard ones.
You say what you mean? You gave all the hard ones.
I didn't even know they had a dog.
We have to have a winner, though. So, Bree, give us the official count. Who is the winner?
You should have went to Fibber McGee and Molly in the radio stations. I could have got those.
Hopefully this won't be our.
We have Miss Stamper with 4 and Mr. Steve with 6.
All righty, Mr. Steve is the winner. Congratulations, Mr. Steve. And thank y'all so much for joining us on our first Remember When. We give you a big hand. Yes.
Goodbye now. We'll see you next time on Remember When.
All right, we're so glad you could join us, and I hope you had a good time. Did y'all have